Welcome to Beacon of Hope, brought to you by Evan Radio US, your weekly journey into the heart of faith and the teachings of Jesus Christ. Join us as we explore the incredible life of Jesus, his miracles, his love, and the divine promise of living in his light. Each episode invites you to reflect deeply, rekindle your faith, and take meaningful action in your own life. Let the stories of his grace inspire your dreams and ignite a passion within you to walk closer to him. Together, we'll discover how to bring his hope to the world. So tune in and let's embark on this transformative journey towards a life illuminated by the love of Christ. Welcome to Beacon of Hope.
Another day, another dream. Gotta chase it down, it seems. The world is waiting, I know, for you to grow. Beacon of hope, shine bright. Beacon of hope,
Welcome to Beacon of Hope. This is your brother Iggy.
And Raquel.
Wow, this is our first show in our radio, Even Radio.
Yeah.
How you been doing, Raquel, today?
I'm doing great. How about you, Iggy?
Very good, very good. And I'm even excellent. You know why?
Why?
Because today we had a powerful message.
Yes, amen. The message today is going to be brought by this pastor who recently passed away at a young age. His name is Voddie Baucham, and he will be bringing a preaching about love.
Wow.
But this is
Specific.
interesting. It's interesting because
Yes.
this is the take on this.
Wow.
Is love sinful?
Ooh, that's it. That's a good question. And in order for you to learn more, we're going to have to delve into this powerful message, right?
Yes. Remembering that this is Beacon of Hope, where we bring the light of Jesus, giving hope into this dark world.
Amen.
Enjoy.
Every Friday the airwaves glow with stories that spark and seeds to sow. Dreams take flight and hearts ignite. Beacon of hope, it's your time to shine. Reflect, dream, act, the world is aligned. Tune in, lean in, let your soul unwind. From quiet whispers to roaring streams, we'll chase the edges of our wildest dreams. Together we'll rise like the morning sun. Beacon of hope, it's your time to shine. Reflect, dream, act, the world is aligned. Tune in, lean in, let your soul wind.
Remember, I told you this is an important word for our day. Love can be sinful. We live in the midst of a culture that needs to hear that. It needs to hear that from us. Because it's coming at us with this whole love is love mentality. And how can you be against love? Nobody can be against love. Certainly Christians can't be against love because God is love and we are called to love. Therefore, how can you stand in the way of any two people who love one another? But our text today makes it very clear that there are instances when love can be sinful. In other words, this is more than just a theoretical, theological discussion for us to have. This is a very practical, rubber meets the road issue. This issue of love being sinful. The question is, what makes love sinful? What could possibly make love sinful? Under what circumstances would love be considered sinful? Well, first of all, love becomes sinful when it is directed at the wrong object. Love becomes sinful when it is directed at the wrong object. Look at verse 15. Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Do not love the world. Now, it's very important to note that this word world, especially in Johannine literature, is used in at least three different ways. First of all, the world can refer to all creation. You see this in John 1, John 3, John 4, John 6, John 7, John 8, over and over again. This word cosmos refers to all the world, to all the created universe. John is not saying here that we should not love this universe, this world, this earth that God created. That's not what's being said here. Secondly, the term world refers to the people that inhabit this world that God created. And God is not saying, do not love people, do not love mankind. Absolutely not. We know that it doesn't mean that. Because the love that we're called to give, even to our enemies, the great commandment, love the Lord your God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself. So John can't be talking about that first world here, and he can't be talking about that second world here. That would be a contradiction. However, there is a third use of the term world. And that third use refers to the spiritual realm that is in opposition to God and in rebellion against his kingdom. It is that third sense of world that is being discussed here. So when John says, do not love the world, he says your love becomes sinful when it's directed at that system that is anti-God, that system that is anti-kingdom, that system that is satanic. Love becomes sinful when it arises from the wrong source. Not only when it's pointed in the wrong direction, pointed toward the wrong object, but when it arises from the wrong source. Verse 16, for all that is in the world, the desires of the flesh, the desires of the eyes, the pride of life, is not from the Father, but is from the world. So there's a problem first with the object, and now here there's a problem with the source. But finally, and ultimately, and most importantly, our love becomes sinful when it produces the wrong fruit. when it leads to the wrong ends. Look at verse 17. And the world is passing away along with its desires. But whoever does the will of God abides forever. Here you have these two opposite ends. On the one hand, you have this world that is passing away, and on the other hand, you have our God who abides forever. Love becomes sinful when it leads to wrong ends and produces wrong fruit. Our passions become sinful when they are pointed in directions that lead to death and destruction, as opposed to leading to life. The poignant way in which this is so pertinent to our times, because of the love is love crowd, particularly in the area of same-sex marriage. How can you be opposed to same-sex marriage when same-sex marriage is just about people who love each other being allowed to express that love? But that's a love that's pointed at the wrong object. That is not a love that comes from God or that brings glory and honor to God. It is pointed at the wrong object. It is a love that arises from the wrong source. Look with me, if you will, at Romans chapter 1. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and the unrighteousness of men who by their unrighteousness suppress the truth. For what can be known about God is plain to them because God has shown it to them. For his invisible attributes, namely his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world in the things that have been made. So they are without excuse. For although they knew God, they did not honor him as God or give thanks to him, but they became futile in their thinking, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Claiming to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images resembling mortal man and birds and animals and creeping things. Therefore, God gave them up to the lusts of their hearts to impurity. Here we are. These lusts, these desires, to the dishonoring of their bodies among themselves, because they exchanged the truth about God for a lie and worship and serve the creature rather than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this reason, God gave them up to dishonorable passions. Dishonorable passions. The desires themselves are dishonorable. If a man comes to me talking about a desire for a woman who is not his wife, I'm not going to tell him to just go ahead and embrace the desire because the desire in and of itself is okay. It's not.
Wow.
That's an amazing preaching.
Amazing, amazing.
Love becomes sinful when it's directed at the wrong object.
That is so true. Sometimes we forget what is really the meaning of love, because we want to just allow everything off. If this person is loving this person, even without any specific target, that can be sinful.
Yes, it can be. If we idolize the object,
Yes.
like Pastor Voddie was mentioning, we
Wow.
idolize the object, then it can be sinful.
And he described it very, very clearly and specific. When you direct the love to the wrong object, that definitely can be sinful.
Yes, it is.
Wow. Thank you guys for being on this particular and amazing message.
Thank you for tuning in. Again, this is Iggy and Raquel,
Amen.
and we are here bringing a glimpse of beacon of hope
Amen.
through this channel.
Every Friday
Yes.
at the same time.
Another day,
God bless you.
another
God bless you.
dream.
Enjoy your day.
Gotta chase it down, it seems. The world is waiting, I know, for you to grow. Beacon of hope, shine bright. Beacon of hope, tonight. You are listening to Heaven Radio, where faith and hope together grow, evangelizing lives, renew understanding. Together we rise with hearts command.